That's something. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise and welcome your guest moderator, JT Simon, and today's guest, the one, the only, Maxim Chmerkovskiy.
My name is JT Simon. It's a pleasure to be here today with the one and only Maxim Chmerkovskiy. Thank you so much, Max, for being here.
I want in advance for you all to know that you shouldn't take anything said seriously. So disregard JT, but I always want to have that music as my coming out song ever for the rest of my life.
So congratulations on the tour coming up this
you.
summer. You're a very busy guy. Don't know how you fit this in. Last week you were driving around in race cars with Mario Andretti, and then the next day you're a guest judge on Dancing with the Stars. What was it like being back in the ballroom last week?
I had fun. I don't know who in the right mind would always approve me for a live show and a live mic for 2 hours. And, you know, asking my opinion, that's never a good idea. But you know, I made peace with Dancing with the Stars. I think it was public and it was widely documented that, you know, there was some unhappy moments that we had. But, you know, I realized that that's the show that allowed me to be where I am. And, you know, the whole family, if you will, benefited from it. Val is doing amazing things on it now. So we're grateful for its existence. And I'll do anything in my power to keep it going and to keep it be more and more popular. I think we're in our 22nd season. That's a big achievement. So especially in the United States and to television.
And you were on the show for how many seasons?
I did 14, yeah.
For 14. And now your brother and your future wife are now on the show. Congratulations on that. Is there any celebrity on the show that you are surprised by, maybe talent-wise?
I mean, that's the nature of the show. Like, you have to cast it the right way for it to work. And every time part of the casting have to include someone you didn't think could do it, and someone, you know, that turns into a dark horse, if you will. And every season there's somebody. I think this season Niall, not because he's with Peter, but because he's deaf and he's doing amazing things. I think that's something that no one expected out of him. And, you know, that's why the show is popular, and as popular as it is, because we get to see those kind of stories, and that makes us understand that, you know, anything's possible. You know, I'm sure we didn't expect Amy Purdy, double amputee, to do as amazing of things as she's done on Dancing with the Stars. So, you know, our show is more than just a cha-cha. You know, it's inspiring, and I'm just very happy that I got to do it.
Of course. And then outside of guest judging, the tour coming up, you also successfully own a ballroom dance studio franchise called Dance With Me, and you guys just recently opened up another location in the city, which I believe is your 7th location? Yes,
it's a chain, not a franchise. JT,
sorry.
Know those things. But no, we're very proud of it. We've opened our first studio in 2005 or 2006, and it happened to be by coincidence at the same year as Dancing with the Stars came to the United States, and, you know, we grew together. We opened our 7th location in Midtown, but we also have one location in Texas, which my dad is ecstatic about. You know, in our immigrants' minds, Texas was always a place where you land and you see cowboys and somebody shoots somebody always. So, you know, cowboy hats. My dad, when we signed the lease, got from a landlord a massive package. It was a 10-gallon cowboy head. So he's walking around with his Russian accent and a giant cowboy head now. So.
And if anybody knows who Sasha is, that's quite funny.
Yeah, no, he's very happy. He makes it look good. He's better dressed than all of us. No, but we're very proud of the company. We want to see it grow. We have an amazing product, and we stay true to what ballroom dancing is, what it represents. We packaged it to cater to people like, you know, like the audience and the viewers of Dancing with the Stars. We want to give them the same experience without having to be, you know, a celebrity and join a reality show. Trust me, you don't want to do it. If you ever get an opportunity to join a reality show, don't do it.
advice from Max. And the studio actually, I mean, you opened Rising Stars Academy when you were 16 years old, which eventually turned into Dance With Me Studios. A lot of the people who help run the company on a daily basis are people that you've trained since they were little kids. Would you attribute those people as part of the success of Dance With Me?
Yes, if you want to create anything, if you building a company, and if you have employees of any sort, no matter what your product is, you always have to strive to grow sort of your own employees, your own, people that you can trust. We started a company with our first instructors, our first managers were kids that used to compete for me when they were 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. Our GM is someone who came to me when he was 16 and started ballroom dancing. So, we kind of raised our own, and I love it because now at the helm of every department is someone that I know for a decade and someone that I can trust, and that's the type of company that I wanna run,
Awesome. And then looking forward to this summer with the tour starting, 46 cities. You haven't actually been on tour for a while, so what's it gonna be like getting ready to go on the road?
This is the same question Val asked me. He's like, by the way, how are you feeling? Can you do it? I'm like, what are you saying? Like, do I look old?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I saw I heard some intonation of can you actually pull this off?
Well, you're a very healthy guy. I mean, you probably have the most strict diet
Don't
anyone I've ever
backpedal,
met.
JT. Don't backpedal. You already said it. Let me address it now.
Okay.
No, I feel amazing. I feel great. I have an amazing diet. We lead a very healthy lifestyle. I'm not going to promote it on this show, but it's something that was a bit of a life change, and I feel great. I take care of myself. I take care of my body. This whole idea that we're in a gym, we live in a gym, that's a misconception. We don't do that, but we stay in very active. Dancing gave me the ability to stay in motion. Once I quit, I have to find a way to replicate it elsewhere, and unfortunately there's nothing like dance as a substitute for physical activity. You can go to the gym, whatever you do is still just very linear exercises, and they work a very limited body part. Dancing is an all-around exercise. So by the way, just a bit of a commercial, if you find a dance school near you, just go sign up, you're gonna have an amazing time. But as far as the tour, I look forward to it because it's not going to be something that, I'm going to be counting down. Okay, we have 60 shows, now we have 59 shows, we have only 30 shows left. This is something that I look forward to because it's an autobiographical stage production. It's a scripted show based 100% on true events from our life, from zero to Dancing with the Stars. Right. So you get to see a story of two kids that grew up in a different continent, came over, started the life from scratch. Kids that had phenomenal parenting, and we attribute our success 100% to our parents and the way they raised us. And all the stories that shaped us who we are will all be presented on stage through dance, through movement, through spoken word. And how do you not look forward to something like that?
And where did the creative inspiration to do this project come from?
Just each other. My brother and I always reminisce. By the way, don't pretend like you don't know us. This guy's in the same company while we're talking about these things. Hey, let's do the tour. JT's like, oh, that's a great idea. You guys should do the tour. So Max, where did the idea come from?
I want it in your words for these guys.
No, so we, kids, I think this whole immigrant generation of first generation immigrants, we hold on to some things. We pride ourselves on some things. For those who don't know what it's like, it's awful, to just get uprooted, move to another place, have no language skill, and be a teenager. It's awful. And so when you come out of this and you come out great and you have accomplished things, that's when you really pride yourself on your accomplishments and you want others to understand and hear them and maybe be motivated by them. So that's where the idea of the tour came from. We don't need a pat on the back. We don't want anybody telling us, oh, you guys did an incredible job. I just want somebody who's like me, you know, if they see this and they say, you know what they're doing, and they came out of this and look at them now, I can do the same thing. Get a little inspired, and that's the goal.
Now, 46 cities in 2 months. Is there a particular city that you've never been to that you're looking forward to maybe hanging out in for a day?
I'm ashamed to admit I've never been to New Orleans. And that's what I'm looking forward to. But, you know, I toured this country with Dancing with the Stars tour about 8-9 years ago. I had an amazing time.
Was it the last time that you did a tour?
It was a winter tour, yes. And we did about 32 cities back then. Since then, Val traveled the city. He did three tours, I think, straight between Dancing with the Stars seasons. So he's been to like 60 cities around the country. And I gotta say, it's a phenomenal experience. If you know, New Yorker, you're engulfed in things metropolitan. You know, you don't really venture out. For New Yorkers, the idea of a vacation has to be outside the country. For some reason, you know, but there are amazing and beautiful places in this country that I've yet to discover, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically always on the West Coast or the East Coast and not really in between much, so hopefully you get some farmland in your life on this tour.
I got some farmland back, you know, between 0 and 14. My grandma had a farm outside the city where we grew up. But yeah, after that I got the only farm I saw was in the middle of Brooklyn. So.
So a lot of people are excited for the tour. You, Val, is this going to answer the question, who's the better dancer?
No. There's no question. Anybody ask that question? I didn't ask that question. No, but if you ask me, I'd say Val is a better dancer. I always said it. And it's natural. You know, he was my student, and a pupil have to supersede a successful teacher. It's just the way things are supposed to happen. Now, who has, you know, who's taller, who's got better ass, you know? Those questions will definitely be answered.
What can the audience expect from this show compared to some of the other shows that you've done?
Honesty. I think the audience can expect a lot of truth and a lot of honest storytelling. If you saw, you know, shows in the past, what we tried we got this idea after we saw Mike Tyson Undisputed Truth. It was Mike's stage production. It was very raw. Spike Lee directed it, so it was very kind of like urban and real, yeah? So a cross between this and John Leguizamo's Ghetto Clown, I think that show called, right? So if you take Mike's Undisputed and John Leguizamo, who I think is a phenomenal actor too, Ghetto Clown, and stick like ballroom dancing over this, like sprinkle around, that's gonna be the show. Just a lot of Brooklyn reference, a lot of, you know, I think Val is heavily influenced by hip-hop culture. So for, you know, you're gonna hear somebody like Val talking about his idea of romantic rumba influenced by Biggie.
I mean, that's interesting.
Right? That makes sense.
And for those who maybe want to meet you guys on the tour, are there meet and greet opportunities on this?
It's so corporate, and you know, to talk about that, but this is just tickets are listed on the site somewhere on the website. You know, go maxandval2.com. You see the tickets. You see the, you know, the description of what you get. I'm honestly not the guy to. I don't even know these things. I don't want to know these things. We have a production company that's amazing that we sat down and we said, listen, I want to be completely engulfed in the creative. I want this to be true and honest experience. You guys put together the best routing plan that you can, and then we'll go from there. I want this to be, you know, the last time Val and I are gonna bunk beds. Basically, no, it's true. I got engaged in December, and Val and I still. Yeah, but the problem is that we still live together. So where before it was kind of cute, two brothers. Oh, that's so adorable. You guys still super tight. You know. Now it's like little brother can't leave the house. You know what I mean? Which is not true. So Yeah, so this is the last sort of like super close experience Val and I are gonna have, and after that, I feel like we're gonna be a little more separated as adults, which is something that siblings would do about 10 years ago. You know, so when he turned 30 a couple of months ago, that's when we're like, all right, you know what, maybe this is time to like hug it out and go our separate ways.
The goodbye tour.
Yeah, no, I was mid-20s and we still had a bunk bed. I'm not kidding, actually.
Now, is anybody else going to be joining you guys on the tour? Is it just you two?
No, it's just us two and a cast of dancers. Nobody from Dancing with the Stars. We don't want there to be a confusion. But we are going to have, as part of the cast, a couple of kids that are now, you know, adults. But these were some of my rising star kids. You know, Kiki, for example, who's now mid-20s and a lot of facial hair. He came to me when he was 7 years old. So I literally raised this child alongside with his parents because they spend most of the time with me through dance class, through summer camps, through, you know, traveling to competitions, U.S. nationals, representatives, you know, world championships and all that. So there's going to be a couple of kids, you know, from that generation, and they're going to represent what Rising Stars stood for. And again, this is very hard for me to talk about because then everything sounds like a pat in the back. So I want people that come see the show hear it from others that experienced us, what that experience was like. And you know, then you'll get sort of a bigger picture about who we are.
And speaking of Peta, your fiance, you have plans set for that yet?
Which part?
Probably the wedding.
See, this is a guy asking a guy about the wedding. That's why it came out so awkward.
The
It's
people
like,
want to know.
I'm not sure how these questions get posed. I have nothing to do with the wedding. I mean, aside from...
That's not really a surprise.
Aside from, I'm the guy on the cake, but I have nothing to do with this. You know, I'll do my best in providing, you know, the opportunity for her to have the wedding that she wants to have. You know, I believe that there's few things in life that are important you cannot miss. You know, I missed my graduation because I was, you know, competing in England for like British Open or something. And for the longest time I thought about this. I was like, well, did I really miss out, or was this an unnecessary sacrifice? You know, and I think I didn't miss out. I think that, you know, the fact that I was in British Open, in hindsight, gave me the ability to, you know, move quicker, further ahead, and then essentially gave me the job Dancing with the Stars and all that. But, you know, you can't deny a child certain memories. And I think the same thing with women and a wedding. It has to be big. It has to be memorable. It has to be one time in your life. And I'm looking forward to giving her that opportunity. And I want to enjoy it too. So that's all I know about the wedding. And I know kind of that it's going to be next summer. But I'm not sure about, don't quote me on this.
That could change. That could change.
Exactly.
So one more question for me, and then I want to turn it over to the audience. You have a lot of fans. There's a lot of people who've watched you on the show for many years. Some would say you're an inspiration to a generation of new dancers. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody who maybe is interested in becoming a professional ballroom dancer?
I would give the same advice to anybody who's interested in becoming professional anything. You just have to work harder than anybody else. You know, everything's a competition, whether there's a place to be won or trophy or whatever, or it's a job competition. You know, we're sitting in a, you know, in the city that represents that very well. You know, anything you do here, there's another 1,000 people that do the same thing and want your position. So you spend more hours than others on perfecting your craft. You're going to persevere, you're going to be successful. 10,000-hour rule is not a joke. It's a tool, you know. We did more Rumba walks than anybody on Dancing with the Stars. My brother and I, we were drilled by our teachers, by our coaches for decades. literally. I was a professional. I remember I started dancing when I was 4, by the way. And at 23, I'm a pro. I'm ranked 4th in the world. My partner and I having a private lesson before another qualifying Grand Slam event. And we come in, and our coach goes, great, let's go, rumble walks around the room. I've been doing rumble walks at that time for 21 years, and it doesn't matter. Rumble walks around the room.
So the key to success is rumble walks?
So key to success is just repetition and doing things and over and over and over, just perfect it. I think that's what I would tell someone who wants to be a dancer. Just pick what you want to do and do it every day for as long as you can, and then see what happens with the result.
Awesome. Well, I want to have some time to take some questions from the audience. Do we have anybody?
Jordan would like to know, who are some of your mentors and people you look up to?
It's a good question.
My father, our parents. I think our dad is definitely one of the most influential, people in our lives. And if you know my dad, you're a lucky person. We have a company, again, Dance With Me. We have over 70 employees. And every time I'm in the studio, different location, whatever, I always tell him, I say, you have an incredible opportunity. By working for us, you have an opportunity. Every day you see my dad, it's either every day or every couple of days, whenever he comes to your location. You see my dad come up, strike a conversation. Hey, Sasha, shoes are pretty, whatever. And nice socks. That will lead into back and forth, back and forth. You will end up spending 5 minutes with, I think, the smartest man I know. And it's going to make you better. 5 minutes a day, every time you have contact with my dad. So that's how inspired I get when we talk. That's who I really do think influenced our life for the best. I remember back in the day when we did sleep in the same room, and it was a Sunday morning, and this guy walks in and starts to do some things on the computer and clicking extra loud, or moving papers and stuff and just making sounds, and then we both, Val and I, this is 9 in the morning, by the way, on Sunday. It's making noises and moving furniture. I'm like, Dad, we're up. That's it, we're up. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. No, you're not. You knew this was gonna happen, and you were trying to wake us up. He didn't know how to justify it. But when we did ask him, why do you always push us like that? He's like, well, because you have to finish every day having accomplished something. You have to go to sleep every day, holiday or otherwise. And the last thought in your head has to be, okay, so today this happened. And this is what made me better than yesterday. I know it's cliche, but that's how he would push us. And so that's definitely the most influential person in our lives.
Another one?
Hi, Max. Thank
Hi.
you for coming. So my question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to dance, not professionally, but just wants to dance on the dance floor, that is so bad at dancing that her own family refuses to dance with her or be seen next to her? And by someone, I mean me.
You see the guy to your right? Just talk to him. Just take some lessons. He'll teach you. No, but it's true. Mr. Eddie Simon right there, by the way. Very influential person in the U.S. dance community for many, many years. But yeah, no, I just think that that's why we exist. That's why companies like ours exist. There is, I think, movement is in nowadays. I think that you can join up any sort of dance place, whether it's group lesson or otherwise, whatever, you don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. You could just go join whatever. And in doing that, whether it's salsa or some Argentine tango or whatever else is popular, some merengue or whatever, you find the rhythm, you find the movement, and you do this over and over and over. You're going to get an internal sort of metronome. Yeah, you don't suck at dancing. You just never did it. And because you never did it, your metronome is a little rusty. Yeah, so you got to get a rhythm in your life. And once you do, you have a little pep in your step, you feel a little more energetic. You know what I'm saying? So this is not just about, oh, I can't dance and therefore I'm just going to stand in the corner. This is about what, if that's your outtake on you as a dancer, you probably put yourself down a little bit as a person as well. You know, so just go to a local whatever. Why? I don't know. Do they give dance lessons there? Maybe. You know, just find somebody who does. Ask JT, he'll help you. He knows everything. And just dance. Just do something that looks awful and feels terrible. Yeah? And chances are it's not as terrible as somebody else who started for the first time. You know? And I sucked for a decade and a half, from 4 till like 16 maybe. Literally. It was awful. I was really bad. And the only reason why I dance is because when we immigrated, I started dancing in Russian restaurants. When I was 14, 15 years old, my partner and I came to a Russian restaurant on Brighton Beach, and we said, do you want a show? And they're like, yeah, I mean, tell us what you got. And so we showed them what we had, and it was the size of the floor was like this. At like 12 midnight, people get drunk a little bit, and we put on the show. And I wanted to ask for a raise because we were getting $25 a show a night. And I didn't know how to ask for a raise, so I figured if I bring him a trophy and say, I won this competition, now you gotta give me more money per show, right? Because in my 14-year-old head, it made sense. And I thought, what's the biggest competition I can show him? Let's do US Nationals. If I win US Nationals, I'm the best in the country. Now I can get a raise. And so that's what sucked me into competitive ballroom. I started taking lessons because I wanted to be better so that I can win the comp, bring him the trophy, and get my raise. We all dance for different reasons, yeah? So you find yours, you follow it, and I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life.
Another person.
Hi, Max. How are you?
Phenomenal.
Oh, awesome. Out of all the seasons that I've watched of Dancing with the Stars, I don't think there was a better pairing than you and Meryl. It was just the best to watch. Like, I loved all your dances. Are you still close, and do you still dance with her? And also, is Val planning your bachelor party, and what do you think that's going to be like?
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, so Meryl and I are still friends. We had a great time on the show. For me, it was definitely my best season on the show. Thank you for saying this about us, but I think that we were one of couple of pairs that were iconic to Dancing with the Stars. I don't think that we were the best or whatever. We just did things the way we did them, and it was different from others, and that's what set us apart. But yeah, no, she's awesome. She and Charlie are still, doing work together as a couple, rightfully so. I feel like they forever will be engraved as the Olympic champions. And once you win Olympics in anything, you kind of forever have that with you. So I'm very happy for her. I think she's very happy with everything that she's done. She's always on the plane somewhere, and we stay in touch as much as we can. And as far as Val planning my bachelor party, I don't think Val ever planned anything in his life. And so, Val's planning would be Val telling somebody like Nicole over there in the back hey, yo, can you just plan this for me real quick?
That seems very accurate.
And it's even intonation is the same, right? Hey, yo, can you just plan this real quick? And it has to be tomorrow. I screwed up. I totally forgot. So that's how it's gonna go down.
Do we have time for one more?
Hi, how are you?
Still phenomenal.
Could you ever see yourself as a permanent judge on Dancing with the Stars? And also, today is my aunt's birthday. Could you take a picture with her whenever you're done?
Selfie Nation, yeah, for sure. Happy birthday, Mom.
My aunt.
Your aunt. Happy birthday, aunt. Whatever. Listen, like I said, I'll help Dancing with the Stars. If they need me to come in and replace Len and just and be this next generation grumpy, sure. I think, like I said, I will do it if, we have to talk to the producers, and I want to do stuff only if I get to make something better. I want to offer my best to the show that I appreciate, that appreciates me back, and that together we can, you know, do good things with. If it's just a commercial interest, okay, let's just fill in this time for now and see what happens. I don't know if I'll take that job, but, you know, like I said, we'll see.
I think that's all the time we have today. You can catch Max and his brother Val this summer in a city near you, beginning June 15th in Florida. To reserve your tickets, visit maxandvaltour.com. Thank you so much, Max.
Let's get a round of applause for JT Simon, everybody.